We keep getting things from the Home Office and from the government on this, and then very little is delivered. But to give them some due, in a sense, the crossings so far have reduced on this time last year by 20%. That's largely due to weather, but it's also largely due to taking action against the Albanians who've been coming across. And the Albanians, which are a significant part of the population in the hotels, have also been returned in fairly large numbers. About 4,100 have been returned so far, which is good news. So that's good. And indeed, if they are going to be cancelling contracts with hotels, then we've got to welcome that, because that's a reduction, or it should be, in the £8 million per day. But, and this is the thing that I'm concerned about, we're not only interested here, are we, in reducing the taxpayers' burden, but also in ensuring that our borders are properly secured and we've got a thorough process in place. I don't see anything else coming online here in terms of reorganisation, in terms of sort of upping the training and the real resourcing of the people who are processing the asylum claims. And that's important because if we know that a certain proportion of the people who arrive on the south coast of Europe, for example, in Greece or Italy, do eventually feed through to the North French coast and make the attempt to cross across to the UK. And we know that this year, Italy has seen twice the crossings landing on its shores from across the Mediterranean that they did last year. So we can expect an uptick, and longer, further down the pipe, the United Nations Population Fund is talking about the population of Africa increasing by 1.7 billion by 2050. And if we don't sort of get ahead of the game and start dealing with this, we've got a problem. And part of that getting ahead of the game is to be able to accommodate any increases in channel crossings next year. If we've cancelled all the contracts and we've got nothing else in place, then the government's going to have a real problem. And what I would be doing is I would be building purpose-built, not like Manston, but properly purpose-built facilities to accommodate these people, somewhere like Salisbury Plain, welfare, health, leisure, and the legal processing facilities there. We've built the equivalent in Camp Bastion in Helmand. I was there. We can do this. We're quite good at it, but you've got to have the will, and you've got to have the leadership and the determination to do it. Have we got it? I don't think so.
Henry, so much I want to talk about, and delighted to have you on. Thank you for making it talk today. You make a point there about Salisbury Plain, and it took me back to COVID. They built hospitals overnight, these Nightingale hospitals, which were never filled. I have quite a strong view on the whole thing, but I want to raise 2 points you made. The first was that you said there's been a decrease of 20% on the boats year on year. You talked about weather, but you talked about an Albanian agreement. Politically, I'm on the fence here when I ask you this question. If a Home Office that isn't fit for purpose and seemingly can't come up with a system that processes 170,000 people who are waiting, it says nothing about the United Kingdom. If we've got an agreement with Albania because of the pressure that was brought to bear, why the hell haven't the government, any government, gone and got agreements with other countries so that this 170,000 people problem disappears? Because I listen to experts like you and I listen to politicians pontificating and I think to myself, it's not rocket science. We got an agreement with Albania. Get one with some other countries. Why not, H?
I agree with you, Jeremy. And look, the one department that sort of a government department that seems to be functioning rather well at the moment is Kemi Badenoch's Trade and Business and Trade. And she's getting agreements left, right, and centre on trade. There is no reason why we can't get similar agreements on this. There are some tricky things because, of course, if you want to send somebody back to Ethiopia and the person in Ethiopia is saying, well, he's not Ethiopian, he's Eritrean, prove that he's Ethiopian, it can be tricky. But, and there are complexities. But the problem here, Jeremy, is that the Foreign Office and the Home Office aren't joined at the hip. I've argued for years now that we need an overarching government strategy that pulls all the efforts of all government agencies and departments together in one coherent effort of unity to get this job done. And we've not got that. Because we've not got that, then every single thing that the Home Office wants to do, they've got to persuade other departments to get on board with, and vice versa. It's a real real pig's ear of an organisation that's behind this, and that's why it's a problem.
Listen, we have to move on, Aisha. It's always lovely to have you on, but I'll tell you what I don't understand. Increasingly, I think Nicola would agree with me. I sit and look at this country and I'm embarrassed. We don't seem to be able to sort our police out, our borders out. The Home Office is a disgrace, Henry Bolton, and they should use people like you.
I agree.
And there's been claims that these 100 hotels that they're supposedly closing down are only happening in Tory battleground areas.
And do you know what?
Politicking.
You and you said that, Henry, and I'll agree with Nick.
Yeah.
Is this another poster line for the next 12 months?
I think it is. I think I would like to see specifically which hotels these are.
Yeah.
And I also suspect they're the ones that are the most logistically and operationally problematic. For example, Studley Park, where they get a high profile from cancelling the contract. They, everybody's sort of saying, good job, it's all cancelled. And I think that's what we're going to see. The cynicism comes from repeated government failure on this.